They're shaking things up in Boston finally. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, if you haven't heard the news by now, there you go. The Boston Bruins have fired ex-head coach Jim Montgomery and have replaced him with interim head coach Joe Sacco. Bruins fans, how are you doing? Let me know down in the comments how you're feeling about this firing and hiring, because this one I do not agree with at all. I made a video about the Bruins 2 weeks ago. It's available up here. You can go watch that. And I went down the rabbit hole as to what's wrong with the Bruins. If you're a Bruins fan, you probably already know what's wrong with the Bruins. So this one, I don't agree with this one at all. I think this one, it goes deeper than Montgomery. It's not him. I think he has a little bit to do with his now ex position, but I don't think ultimately it was on him for the firing. The Bruins, as they start the year, I'm looking off to some stats right here. They start the season 8-9-3, just below 500. But Montgomery, in his 2.5 seasons, if you want to call it that, leaves behind a record of 120, 41, and 23. Not bad for Jim Montgomery. He took home the Jack Adams Award a couple years ago. Crazy good talent. I mean, he had a good talented team, but in front of him. But yeah, the most wins in a season by any franchise, that was his doing, or not his doing, but he was behind the bench for that. So this one, I don't really understand why. I mean, I understand why, but this one, this is a scapegoat move if I've ever seen one. I mean, let's just be 100% real with each other. This one is not on Montgomery. We're going to look at how we got here really quick. We're not going to make this video a super long one, but this one is really interesting because, again, I don't think he should have got the axe. But again, I see the business side of things. So let's jump over really quick and talk about how we got here. All right, the Boston Bruins. Again, we're looking at the stats really quick, how we got here. 8-9-3. We know that you're at 19 points right now on the season, just below 500. Your goals for 48, your goals against 69. Not horrible, but not great. Jeremy Swayman, yeah, we know he's had a couple issues starting the year. Not attending camp. Does that play into things? Maybe a little bit, but I'm not going to go as to that far to say because he missed camp, the Bruins suck. It's not just him. It's the whole team. And then we're going to look at the problem that I saw for the Boston Bruins, and I'm sure you guys know this as well. In my last video, I talked about their problems. Their biggest issue is staying or going into the box and not staying out of the box. You're the highest penalized team right now. 78 penalties against. Power play goals against 19. That penalty kill and that whole team, as far as being in the box, has been horrible. It's undisciplined hockey. And I think this is partly why I think Montgomery had to get the axe today. When a coach can't get the message through, and I'm sure we've seen in the recent history that Montgomery is not afraid to call players out. He's called out Pastrnak last year in the playoffs. He gave that little shoulder tap, nudge, whatever you want to call it, bickering at Brad Marchand on the bench this year, which both those players didn't seem to have a problem with at all. But for some reason, the message was not getting through. I think this is more so a message from the management staff, and I think Montgomery is the scapegoat for that, because Don Sweeney, I think ultimately, I think this is his last chance. Like, he should have, I think this should have been out. I don't think the owners are going to fire the GM before they fire the coach. So the writing is on the wall, Bruins fans, for Don Sweeney. And I'm sure, and I based on the comments I've seen already, a lot of people think and feel the same. The Boston Bruins new head coach, Joe Sacco. He's had some time in the league. He's been with the organization for quite some time, since 2014, just looks like about. He was the head coach for the Colorado Avalanche a couple years ago. But yeah, he's had some experience coaching. How well did he do when he coached? It's not that great. In Colorado, here's his collective record for Colorado. The best year he had, it looks like, was his first year, when he went 43-30. 95 points. That was in 2009, 2010. His last head coaching position was in 2012, 2013. 16 wins, 25 losses, 39 points. Shortened season, by the way. So, can you really judge his performance? I can. It's super easy. I'm looking at the stats just like you guys are. I don't see any crazy standout wins, any standout percentages. The highest he's ever finished has been second. So, do I think this is the answer? No, I still don't think this is the answer. He got fired from his position in Colorado. Let's take a look here real quick. So, the lockout, the shortened season. We knew that. Sacco was fourth in season. It was his fourth season in charge for the Colorado Avalanche and wound up with a 130, 134, 30 mark record. He had 1 year left on his contract at the time of this firing. So the records in the 4 years that he had with Colorado is dwarfed by the 2.5, if you want to call it 2.5, from Montgomery. So this one, again, I don't agree with this whatsoever. Bruins fans, again, let me know down in the comments how you're feeling about your new head coach for the time being and who's going to be the new head coach, because there are ramblings that it could possibly be Joe Quenneville, although I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. There's also talks that maybe Sullivan might become available in the near future, and maybe the Bruins organization is waiting for that to play out. Who knows? But again, my issue here is with Don Sweeney. This move is, for me, again, this is Don Sweeney fighting for his job because the Bruins have not been playing great. I don't think it's on the coach. It's on the players. Like I said, go back, watch my video. I've already talked about it. But also, Don Sweeney has not been doing a great job in the years prior to this. I'm a San Jose Sharks fan. I've made that very clear. I have gone through what the Bruins are going through right now, and I'm just coming out of it on the other side. I think the Bruins are being humbled again, like I've said in the past, that now you're starting to see the downfall of the Bruins, and it's happening at a rapid rate. Your team has lost players, key players from the past. The drafting has been okay. I'll give Don Sweeney that. He's drafted pretty okay. He's drafted some good players that are currently playing the NHL right now. Again, like Jake DeBrusk. Who else has he got on here? He's got Charlie McAvoy on here, Trent Frederick, Jeremy Swayman, his new signing, his new goalie, or not his new goalie, his now long-term goalie. Mason Lohrei's on here. The list goes on. He's done okay. He's got players that have been playing in the NHL, but as far as superstar talent goes, that's in the pipes, it's in the works. It's not there for the Bruins, and it's not to really his fault. It's because he's built such a great team in front of him for the last couple of years that you guys haven't had a really insane draft position. And that was the case for the San Jose Sharks for a long time. We didn't have to have crazy talent drafted early because we had such a good team. But then when the time came, when those players moved on and we were kind of stuck holding the bag with these prospects that really weren't going to go anywhere, ultimately we had to have a rebuild. We broke things down pretty much to the freaking nuts and bolts, and then had to build our way back up, and we're still coming out of this build up. I feel like the Bruins are kind of at that point of realizing that we got nothing in the works. We can't get the message to our players now with a really good coach. Don Sweeney's, that hot seat for Don Sweeney is steaming hot right now. It's really bad for Don Sweeney and the Boston Bruins right now. Again, Bruins fans, let me know how you're feeling down in the comments. I can go on and on and on about this if I want, but if you guys are more interested in learning more about what I learned about the Boston Bruins, go watch that video that's up there. Bruins fans, let me know how you're feeling down in the comments. Let me know who you think is going to be your new long-term coach, because I don't think Joe Sacco is going to be the answer, and I don't think majority of people will agree with that answer as well. So let me know down in the comments. If you're new to my channel, do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe button. It helps me out a lot.